What's good, everybody? It's Batman, and we're over here doing a video. Finally, we're going to be ranking the Akatsuki. I'm basically going to be giving my opinion, and basically from like strongest to weakest, and overall just kind of establishing of why these characters can win, who could beat who, and this and that, and overall who's basically at the top. I'll basically explain it very briefly. I'm not going to go into every single fucking thing, because then we would have a very long video. Very long video if I did that. If you guys want more in depth and more in detail and so on and so forth and more evidence and etc., that's something I would mainly either have to cover in like a versus battle, or better yet, we can go to a Discord channel, talk, whatever, and this and that. But I'm gonna keep this very brief and simple. Just kind of go over the basics, the intermediates, or the really big reasons of why these characters are over who, and that'll basically be that. So we're gonna cover in the beginning. So we're to start from the weakest. So the first one we're doing, no disrespect, but Hit-On, he's a D. So unfortunately, Hit-On, like, you know, the problem is with fucking Hit-On is he's basically a taijutsu fighter, and all he needs is a drop of blood. And yes, he is immortal, so that's something that is pretty cool. But that's all it is with him. And the only things we really see with Hit-On is him kind of his exchanges with Kakazu. So when he first met Kakazu, he fought him, killed Kakazu, one of his hearts, because Kakazu didn't know about his ability and whatnot. He was, and it kind of caught him off guard, and then he killed one of his hearts, and then they're about to fight, and then Konan and Hitachi are like, hey, enough. So we see that in the beginning. Then he's with Kakazu as his partner. They kind of go, they fight him against the monk, they fight against Asuma's team, stuff like that. And overall, he's around the level of, anywhere between, from like Kakashi during the Kakazu arc, he can kind of go blow for blow with him briefly. He can go against Asuma pretty briefly as well. He's around that ballpark. He's not really on the level of Hitachi or Obito or Pain. Not even Orochimaru. Okay, for God's sake. But that's just kind of what he can do, and that's basically about it. Now, Hit-On is this. The only thing I'll say for Hit-On, this is the interesting part about him. Even though technically he would be the weakest, if he's being underestimated, and if he gets one drop of blood, okay, he can basically kill any of these people. That's the crazy part about him. If he gets a fucking drop of blood, they're basically dead. So as long as he's not being underestimated, you know what I mean? Which in character, Pain wouldn't really do that. Obito wouldn't do that either. Hitachi wouldn't do that. Kasami wouldn't even fucking do that. That's all I'll say on that. And that's basically it. So he could technically be able to kill these people. But it's not really Cesare. Cesare's a little different. And also Rochimaru is a little weird too and all that. But either way, I'm not really going to get into it. But overall, if he gets their blood, then yeah, obviously it could be a W. But it's very unlikely. I'll put it at that. And if we do the rundown of Hit-On, we'll start from this. So Hit-On versus Cesare. So Cesare is mainly a distance fighter, and he uses a shit ton of attacks. It goes from like hundreds and hundreds of poison needles and knives. Then it goes from poison bombs. Or then there's this one ability where it's a shit ton of fucking long ass puppet arms, and basically just hits you all at once. Then he has shoots all these pellet bomb things where it just does a barrage of very confusing shit ton of amount of attacks, to where he's basically all the beginning of his attacks are basically attacks that kind of prevent you from dodging, unless if you can teleport, you're fast enough, or you have some type of hacks ability. And Hit-On, he ain't built to dodge all of Sasare's attacks. Sakura couldn't even do it, and she was literally an evasive specialist, basically medical ninja, okay? And Sakura was only performing and dodging so well because of Chio, however you say her name. She was controlling her with the puppet strings, and that's what was even helping her to begin with the entire fight, the majority of it, until eventually it gets to the point where she does get fucked up, and even Chio controlling her wasn't even enough to help. But anyways, so Cesare, he's no fucking joke. He has barrages of fucking attacks, and that's just him in his his first puppet form. Okay, his puppet form is pretty freaking strong. What the fuck is Hit-On gonna do? If he even lands his scythe on it, it's not gonna do anything. So overall, in my opinion, Cesare is a really, really bad opponent for Hit-On. and he just gets fucked. All it takes is one hit. Yes, Cesare technically wouldn't be able to kill him, but he can still poison him and paralyze him. And then he's fucked and he can't move, and then Cesare can just cut him up just like Shikamaru did, or send the big ass black iron sand, and that can fuck him up as well. Like, Cesare has plenty of things he can be able to do to take care of him. So overall, he ain't beating Cesare. Then you have Datara. Datara, okay, look, if Hit-On got fucked up by all those paper bombs by Shikamaru, you think this man is tanking explosions from Datara, who is literally an explosion specialist? Like, he has C1, C2, C3, and C4, okay? And then his ultimate move is even more crazy, okay? C1 is like baby explosions. Sure, maybe Hit-On could probably be able to tank that, right? Then he has C2, which is, like medium projectile explosions, whatever. I don't know. I don't think he would be able to probably tank that, because you got to remember, Hit-On, literally his durability to where he's getting fucked up by knives, getting stabbed by weapons. He's got like a deep cut wound on his throat when Shikamaru like caught him off guard. So like, his durability ain't that great. Okay, I'm pretty sure that would probably do enough for him. Or if Datara uses C3, he's dead. Okay, that's even a bigger explosion and projectile, and or even that dragon, that will fuck him up. Or better yet, I don't know what it was, if it was either called a different technique, or if it was maybe considered C3 or whatever. I know it wasn't C4, but he even drops a big ass bomb thing that looks like a fucking nuclear explosion on the sand village, and Gaara had to literally use all his sand to protect the village, otherwise they all would have died basically, or got very hurt, or killed a lot of people. So, and then his C4, don't even get me started on that. The C4 is ridiculous. It's an ability that like attacks you. I think it is on a cellular level, but either way, like you kind of breathe it in. It's like on a microscopic level and whatnot, and then it just disintegrates you from the inside and all that. It's an insane ability to where literally, if you don't have the Sharingan or the Rinnegan, or better yet, fucking, something to be able to allow you to deal with it and cancel it or counter it, you're basically fucked, okay? So, like, if Hit-On breathes that in, yeah, then he's dead. Okay, so overall, Datara is destroying him. Then you have Hitachi. I'm not even going to get into that. Come on now. Okay, Obito, that's a no-brainer. Orochimaru could just fucking toy around with him, whatever, you name it. And let's say somehow, some way, because Orochimaru, he is cocky. Okay, he does underestimate a lot of people. Let's say, like, Orochimaru, like, gets cut or something, right? And then Hit-On's like, oh, yes, and does his symbol, and then he does a stab, and Orochimaru takes damage. At that point, Orochimaru is just he can literally just heal. He can repair his body with his fucking snakes. He can literally spit himself out just in case of what, like, it's not going to be the end of the world for him. And at the end of the day, if Orochimaru uses his fucking main weapon his sword, that's going to slice Hit-On up like it's nothing. If he does like that fucking huge thousands of snakes with their swords as well on Hit-On, he's fucked. Okay, if he does Edo Tensei, he's absolutely fucked. So that's like, overall, it's that simple. Like the only way you could argue if Hit-On could beat Orochimaru is if he's able to, get his blood and then do the thing or whatever. And if you think Orochimaru wouldn't be able to heal from that, or regenerate, or if it's just an instant death, then sure, that is a win con. But like I said, it's very, very highly unlikely that Hit-On would be able to beat Orochimaru. I just don't see that being possible. He just has so much more than him that he can do. But yeah, so that's that. Then you have Kasami. Kasame's a fucking beast. He would absolutely destroy this guy. Okay, shit it on Killer Bee. Okay, and Hit-On ain't beating Killer Bee either. So then you got Kakazu. And we've already kind of seen them briefly exchange with each other, so where he did kill Kakazu because he was caught off guard by his ability and immortality. But then if they continue to fight more and more, I'm pretty sure we all know Kakazu more than likely would have won that fight. So, like, the only way Kakazu would have lost is if Hit-On just, like, eventually takes out the thing and then goes to stab him again in his heart and just keep, stabbing in his heart to kill Kakazu. But Kakazu would just immediately react with his, tentacles or his arms or whatever, and then basically just pull him out of the ritual circle or just attack him. And overall, he's just going to get fucked up. It's that simple. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Kakazu can be able to take it. Could Hit-On maybe beat Kakazu? Yes. I think out of all the Akatsuki members, he has the highest chance of beating Kakazu. So I will definitely say that. They're very relative 9 times out of 10 throughout the show. They're always kind of going back and forth with each other, trading, even with their brief fight that they had. And overall, like, they're even able to consistently, like, work together and do, like, suicidal combos against their enemies that they basically made a statement that, oh, no one has ever survived until they fought against Kakashi. So overall, like, that's just basically that. So could he beat him? Sure, but it's more than likely going to be in favor for Kakazu. I'm not going to disrespect Kakazu like that. And then you have Zetsu. So this is the funny thing. Zetsu, he can basically go in the ground, do whatever, use like leaves and shit and all that. In my opinion, like, Zetsu probably could be able to beat the guy. If you know what I mean? Like, he could just use, whatever techniques, rip his body apart, or whatever. Or better yet, imagine him going into like that one thing in the war arc where it was like, I think he was controlling Yamato or something. And he went into that big ass fucking wood style transformation thing. So, but I think he needs Yamato in order to do that. So I won't count that. But, bro, bottom line is Zetsu could probably beat this guy. Okay? Like, the motherfucker's been alive for eons. So that wouldn't surprise me if he could beat him. So I'll just say it like that. But other than that, and then Pain, obviously he ain't doing shit. Konan would shit on him as well. So that's basically it. So Head-On is a D. I'm sorry. He's a D. He's probably going to be the only fucking D on here, to be honest with you. Zetsu, I would more likely put him above. And that'll basically just be that. Now, Zetsu, you could either put him like here, or you can put him as a C. It's whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, Zetsu, like, the problem with Zetsu is he's not really known for fighting or as like a combat type. He's more of a support type and more of like a spectator to spy, get the intel guy, if that makes sense. And whenever we have seen him fight, he uses like wood style and all that, and whatever he's doing his thing, and that's basically it. And he can also morph into the ground, kind of similar to Conway and whatnot and all that. So he's pretty cool. And in my opinion, if any of these people tried to kill him, well, I would probably say Hitachi, Obito could probably deal whatever. But either way, like, he's, like I say, he's not really a fighting guy. So I don't really want to, like, basically what I'm trying to say is he more than likely would be the guy to run away from the fight, and he would be able to run away and they could do nothing about it because he can literally just travel and go wherever he wants. He can appear wherever the fuck he wants. And then can just make nothing but clones of himself and, wood style. Like, so overall, I'd say, put him out as a C or whatever. If he was to try to fight any of these powerhouses, he would more than likely lose. I'll just put it at that. And that's about it. And as for his, like, attack potency and all that and everything and whatnot, and, like, I guess his best feat that we've ever seen of him is when he pierced against Six Pass Madara with his hand. So if he was able to pierce Six Pass Madara's durability, I guess obviously you could maybe say that he could probably one-shot any of them as long as he gets behind them or catches them off guard or whatever. But that's basically all I'll say for that. I'm just going to keep him down there. I'll let you guys decide where you think Zetsu should go. I don't... At the end of the day, that's not that serious to me. But I'm going to at least put him up there. And so Zetsu would be the C for me, to be honest. So the next one we're going to have, in my opinion, would be... I would say... So I would say it would be Kakazu. So I'm going to put... I'll put Kakazu as a B tier. I won't be too mad. So I'll put Kakazu as B. And this is kind of where it's at. Kakazu could beat Hit-On. More likely would beat Zetsu if they were to really fight. If not, Zetsu would probably just run or whatever. That's it. But so I'm putting him over that. If Kakazu fought, I'll start with Datara. If he fought Datara is more of a range distance fighter. And even though Datara is cocky and he always thinks he's the shit and whatnot, at the end of the day, Kakazu is mainly known for his taijutsu moves, like with his diamond morph, armor, to either increase his physical power or his defense. Or he uses his tentacles to kind of grab and this and that. or he'll use his ninjutsu abilities, with his with his mask and whatnot and all that. So, and the way I see it is Datara, he can just spam and shoot nothing but explosions. And if Datara starts using C3, you know what I mean, or like his bigger explosions, or better yet, the guy uses C4 on Kakazu, what the fuck is Kakazu gonna do? He's just dead. If Datara even does like his, even though this is technically not really a victory, but if he also does his big ass suicidal like bomb, that's also a GG. Like, overall, Kakazu doesn't have god tier durability. From what we've seen with Kakazu, is he gets kind of beat up by the monk and fucked up by him. What's it called? He has exchanges with Kakashi, and they're kind of relative back and forth. And this is Kakashi only with the Sharingan activated, not the MS. Fights against Fatigue, Tired Naruto, but even in his more stronger forms, and still loses. Even was kind of fighting with Shikamaru at certain points. Better yet, he missed a fucking point blank punch on Shikamaru while Shikamaru was caught off guard and had no idea he was behind him, and still was able to dodge and still outrun him as well. Like, overall, Kakazu, he's really nothing too crazy. He's powerful, don't get me wrong. Very deadly ninja and shinobi and very capable. But if he had a fight against Datara, I feel like it's more of a disadvantage for him. Datara is more of like a little, he's a range fighter. He's going to stick in the air, stay away, evade, run away. He's not known for just fighting or combat. And his explosions are very fucking powerful. I'm not going to do Datara like that. Like, that would be very disrespectful to really think he wouldn't have enough AP to be able to hurt Kakazu. Okay. Kakazu got bodied by a Raikiri, and he also got bodied by a fucking Rising Shuriken. His durability ain't all that, okay? And if all it takes is a good enough amount of C power, and at the end of the day, okay, for instance, let's say we all have this hypothetical durability for Kakazu, that he can just tank crazy-ass attacks, tailbeat, whatever, you name it. If he couldn't even tank the attack from the Rising Shuriken, and people always say, oh, he only died because it also attacks on a cellular level, which that's not the case. Okay, you gotta remember, Datara's C4 ability is basically a Hax-based ability as well. It's microscopic nanobombs or whatever that literally you breathe in, or like it kind of expands out, and if you breathe it in and whatnot, it goes into your body and explodes you up from the inside. What the fuck is Kakazu gonna do? He'll just be incinerated like any other fucking organism. Animals, plants, humans, you name it. And that would be a GG, and he's dead. So, at the end of the day, I do truly feel like Datara would more likely win that fight. Could Kakazu somehow pull a W? Maybe, if he approaches it the right way, and whatnot. Kind of similar to how Sasuke was doing it, but at the end of the day, Kakazu ain't Sasuke. He doesn't have the the Sharingan to be able to emit genjutsu. He doesn't have a way to be able to tank fucking point blank explosion attacks that are very powerful, like Sasuke did with his CM2 transformation with the wing. Overall, he's kind of fucked, and the only lightning style thing that he has is false darkness, but it ain't like a Chidori or Sasuke's fucking long ass Chidori lightning cable that can extend at ranges and shit, and you name it. At the end of the day, it's gonna be a lot harder for Kakazu to approach Datara and to beat him. It's more believable for Datara to pull it off, but if Datara is being stupid and underestimating, then maybe Kakazu could beat him. But like I said, the moment Datara starts getting serious and just going and whatnot, if anyone can answer me, how does Kakazu defeat C4? I just don't see that happening. It's just not going to fucking happen. So at the end of the day, Kakazu's going to be staying down there. And then not only that, Kakazu's scaling kind of stops around the Kakazu arc, which is when his final fight is against Kakashi, Naruto, Yamato, and all of them and everything. And the only time we see him again is during the war arc. And he basically gets bodied by these two fodder ninja, which are the ones that were with Asuma. They both stab him and cut him open. And then eventually he just gets sealed, and that's it. He had all 5 hearts and was an Edo, and he still couldn't fucking do shit. So he ain't built like Minato, Hitachi, and all these other crazy ass powerful ninja. This is that simple. So that's why Kakazu is there. And then basically I'll just put it at that. And I'm trying to think, what was it? Yeah, but yeah, that's basically that. So yeah, Datara, that's what happens. With Sasori, if Sasori lands any of his attacks, which are all poison based, Kakazu's fucked. Okay? And if Shikamaru is able to press him and be successful with attacks, or Kakashi, or better yet, Naruto, you ain't gonna fucking tell me Sasori can't pull that off either and land one attack, which literally what he is known for is to do barrages of attacks that are basically undodgeable unless you have some crazy ability or hacks of teleportation or speed, and that's just that. So like overall, like Sasori is guaranteed more likely to get a hit. If he gets one hit, it's basically a GG and he gets poisoned and he's dead. And then not only that, what's it called? Fucking if any of like the black sand, if that shit goes into the puppets, or goes on Kakazu, whatever, it can not only immobilize you and stop you from moving as well, because it kind of goes inside and everything, and whatnot. And then it's also very fucking powerful. It can basically block attacks. It can pierce through you, all kinds of shit. And then not only that, then let's not even forget that. Let's say, while he's dealing with that, fucking Sasori can summon 100 goddamn puppets and shoot fire, water style, and you name it, and be fighting this guy as well. Like, at the end of the day, it's just going to be too much for Kakazu, and he's going to get hit. He's going to get poisoned. The moment he gets poisoned, he's dead. The only reason why Sakura and the other chick survive is because they had an antidote for the poison. So, in my opinion, I feel like Sasori would more than likely take that as well. And that's just kind of where I am with that. So overall, Sasori's over him. Then with Orochimaru is going to be shitting on him. Orochimaru would fight, whatever, this and that. They kind of fill each other out. The moment Orochimaru does Edo Tensei, he's pooped on. Done. So that's just basically that. You don't really need to get into it. I'm all right. What if you think Kakazu could beat fucking Tobirama, First Hokage, and all these people, whatever, or any of Orochimaru's normal, typical Edo summonings? You're crazy. So I'll just put it at that. So yeah, that'll be that. And then Kasami, he would fucking shit on him. Absolutely just shit on him and destroy him. He has water style. It's a ridiculous amount of fucking chakra. Can absorb chakra on his own. Can heal any damages he takes. And can also have, at the end of the day, a final trump card where basically he shoots a super bomb, shark bomb, whatever, and anything it touches, it gets more powerful, absorbs it, and it kills you. So, like, yeah, Kakazu just will get destroyed by Kasami. There's no doubt about that. And then, basically, what's it called? Pain, that's a no-brainer. I know this is, like, a big thing. It's, like, the troll meme. Apparently, people think it's controversial because there's idiots out there, yada, yada, about Pain versus Kakazu. Kakazu destroys. It's blatantly false and ignorant. What's it called? And I have plenty of videos on that of why Kakazu would never ever in his life be able to even defeat Pain. Okay, if I'm saying he can't even defeat these certain individuals, there's absolutely no conceivable way he's taken Pain. Pain is way more powerful than him, faster. What's it called? His hacks abilities could one-shot him. Kakazu wouldn't be able to land a single fucking attack on Pain. And Pain has incredible durability as well. And overall, he's a fucking beast. And not only that, Kishimoto, maybe Kishimoto got pissed off. I don't know. But even Kishimoto in the game, it's the creation of Akatsuki, and it's also canon as well, because Kishimoto supervised the story and everything, the outfits, you name it, and approved it. Literally, like, what's it called? They fight in the game, and it's just Tendo Pain pulling up, and he's the one that hired Kakazu. And even in the manga and anime, it doesn't show the fight, but it says that Pain was the one that actually recruited Kakazu. So that is also a thing as well. So it's not like it's completely out of line or anything. But Tendo Pain pulled up on Kakazu by himself and defeated him. So there's just that. And then Konan could be able to defeat him as well. You gotta remember, Konan is no slouch, okay? People really like to fucking shit on her and whatnot. She can literally spam kamikaze paper clones at you and just keep, blowing up and whatnot. She can morph into a paper body to where she can't be fucking touched or hurt, okay? Shoot endless sharp projectiles at you. Paper bombs on her projectiles, on top of either having paper bombs on herself, hidden to catch someone off guard. Then she can fly, okay, and do all kinds of shit. And then most importantly, she can also cover you with papers and suffocate you. That's another thing she can do. Or she can do one of her big fucking crazy abilities that she did even to Obito and summon 6 billion fucking paper bombs to kill you. So yeah, Kakazu would take the L from her as well. Okay, I don't see a way of how he could be able to deal with her. Fire doesn't hurt her. Water doesn't hurt her. The only big weakness that she actually had is to oil. That's the only way to counter her ability is oil. Okay, or better yet, if you're blatantly just more powerful than her, obviously, then she could shit on. Or if you catch her off guard from behind like Obito did, cool. Better than that, that's basically it. And she's a very smart character. She was able to analyze and deduce strategies and exploit Obito's weakness of Kamui and be able to successfully kill him. The fact that she was even able to kill Obito is a big fucking deal. She could be able to defeat Kakazu as well. It's that fucking simple. So he ain't beating her either. And Hitachi, come on, bro. It's fucking Hitachi. Okay, like, Hitachi bodies Deidara effortlessly, Orochimaru effortlessly. Obito was even in fear of Hitachi throughout the show and was the reason why they even had negotiations and a deal on what they could do. Okay, this guy is like he's a fucking prodigy. Okay, he would shit on Kakazu as well. All right, it's just that fucking simple. Just with Genjutsu alone, he wouldn't need to do anything else. Just Genjutsu would take care of him. So there's that. And then obviously don't even get me started on Obito. That's just disrespectful. If you think fucking Kakazu's beating Obito as well in Kamui, then fuck it. At that point, Kakazu still is the Naruto verse. So that's basically where that's at. So let's move on to the next character. So the next character that I'm also going to get on with will be Cesare. I think this is fair. Actually, no. I apologize. Deidara. So we're going to do Deidara here. If I can fucking do it. Fuck you. Okay. So we got Deidara here. There's a reason. Okay. Cesare, this is an interesting one. So yes, Deidara has crazy ass explosions. Okay. He has an insane hacks ability with his C4, and then obviously his suicidal trump card. So overall, if he fought against Cesare, like, you could easily argue that fucking Cesare would more than likely beat him, because not only does Deidara even has a statement where he says Master Cesare is stronger than him. Now, depending on how you want to kind of analyze that statement, whether if you think he's just kind of downplaying himself or whatever, this and that, whatever, at the end of the day, he even thinks that it's more probable for Cesare to beat him in a fight if it came down to it, and he declares that he's stronger than him, telling Kakashi that, you might want to go help them fight him and not deal with me. So, that just putting that out there. Another thing as well is, what's it called? Cesare, like I said, he just has all his attacks. Then his black sand, he can also be a ranged distance fighter as well. Close range as well. His poison and everything. Like, he's just no fucking joke. And even if his body gets affected or blown up or whatever, he can just repair himself and come back. Like, you had to destroy, like, that one part. It's like his heart or something. Unless that's destroyed, he can just repair himself, come back, whatever. Overall, Deidara would more than likely get fucked. Like, if Sasuke was able to press him and eventually land hits and contest, okay, and Sasuke is not really a ranged fighter either, okay, there's no way you can't tell me Cesare wouldn't be able to pull it off either. Cesare would more than likely win. If you want to say Deidara could probably beat Cesare, that's fine. It is possible. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if Deidara does the C4 and then does like an explosion and then nothing really happens, and then Cesare's like, what the fuck? What does that do? And then next thing you know, his body just turns to ash, Sure, that could be a win con. So, at the end of the day, it's up to you guys of how you kind of want to put Deidara and Cesare. I'm not really going to say it's guaranteed Cesare wins every time. I just think it's more probable that he would win that fight. So, that's basically why Cesare would be over him. And then if Deidara was to fight Orochimaru, any of these guys and whatnot, he lost to Sasuke, okay? Tachi's destroying him. Obito would destroy him. Orochimaru, all he would have to do is literally fucking, fight him and be able to kill him in many ways. He has plenty of jutsus. He has summonings. Okay, he has fucking Edo Tensei. Like, bro, Orochimaru could be able to fight this guy. Now, if Orochimaru is an idiot and Deidara uses his C4 ability, then yes, that could be a win con, and that could also kill Rochimaru as well. But at the end of the day, Sasori and Deidara pulled up on Orochimaru at a certain point in Naruto, and he was able to hold both of them off at the same time, and then eventually retreated. And he was only using Edo Tensei, nothing else. So, and at the end of the day, if Orochimaru summons Edo Tensei, and so on and so forth, what the fuck is Deidara gonna do? Like all kinds of shit. So that's just that. But so we'll basically keep it at that, and I'll just kind of do that for the time being. And oh god, it went away. Why does my thing go away? Did it keep it? Oh, it at least kept it. That's cool. It's just kind of like rendering the buff and slowly but surely loading these guys. Why is it taking so long? What the fuck? That's weird. But yeah, so that's kind of where that is. So yeah, I do feel like Orochimaru would be able to beat Deidara. Then you have Kasami. Kasami could be able to defeat Deidara as well. What's it called? Like fucking, he just has every capable measure and way to be able to defeat him. It can kind of counter anything he does at him. Like I said, the only win con Deidara has against most of these people would be, well, except for Pain and Obito. What's it called? Except for those two. But, but everyone else, basically, the only way he can really pull off a W is with his C4. That ability is just absolutely insane. Like, it's crazy powerful. So, but like I said, these type of fighters, they're not stupid. They're not, generally, it's not really in character for them to kind of underestimate or really think, oh, I'm just so much better than you. I'm just going to kind of toy and talk shit or whatever. Though 9 times out of 10, if you betray them or try to fight them, you're dying. Okay, you're losing that fight. So could he pull it? Yes, but it's very highly improbable. So we'll do that. He's not beating Konan either. What's it called? That's just not happening. Shit. Matter of fact, that's a really, really bad matchup, to be honest. Konan, like, she can fly, shoot things as well, paper bomb explosions, you name it. Suffocate you with her paper, like all this shit. Like, I don't know, like she would be a really, really bad opponent for Deidara, in my opinion. But anyways, so yeah, we'll kind of leave it at that. That's whatever. And that's kind of where it goes. Obviously, I did put Sasori next up. And with Sasori, he's no joke. Okay, he's very, very fucking powerful. I feel like he's very underestimated and downplayed. All his attacks are ridiculously crazy, towards basically either undodgeable or unavoidable. Okay, and they're all induced with poison and whatnot. Then you have like the fucking black sand that he can use with the Kazekage puppet. Then himself as a puppet with 100 puppets that can take down a nation, you name it, whatever. All of that shit is crazy. Like, overall, he's a fucking beast. And if you get hit just a scratch by any of his moves, you're fucked. Okay, so overall, like, he does deserve a spot, in my opinion, to go there. But these are the people that would beat Sasori, in my opinion, if it really came down to it. And I'm going to start getting on that as well. So overall, the people that would definitely would have beat him, in my opinion, which is Orochimaru, which is just kind of was established in the show as well. They fought, and Orochimaru was kind of beating him and just going back and forth, and he was getting pissed off. So Orochimaru would be able to beat him. So Rochimaru is actually going to be, I'm going to start him off in the A tier. No. I'll put him here. He's still B tier. So Rochimaru would be able to defeat him for sure. He's no fucking joke, and he would be a problem. Okay, he would definitely be a fucking problem. He would be able to beat him. Then you have Kasami. So this is interesting. Kasami can basically really fuck up Sasori because he has water style where he can literally summon a pool of the ocean of water, can absorb all chakra and ninjutsu based attacks, okay, can literally heal and regenerate, so meaning it is actually possible that he could just heal or take out the poison out of his body or whatever. That would, I would probably make sense, right? I don't see why not, that he wouldn't be able to somehow take care of the poison in his body if he somehow did get hit. But let's say if you don't think that's the case or whatever, then sure, cool. But at the end of the day, the moment Kasami is using his water style abilities, okay, what the fuck is Sasori going to do against water style? You know what I mean? Like, his puppets can't be in water, okay? And not only that, like he's just gonna be fucked. And then even if he uses the sand and all that, which is a ninjutsu based attack, Kasami can just absorb all of that, and that's it. Problem solved. And then not only that as well, what's it called? If Kasami goes into his tail beast state, he's fucked. Like Cesare is just gonna get really destroyed. Kasami has a shit ton of fucking chakra. And overall, once he has a pool of water, he's even more dangerous. He's already as dangerous with the sword as it is. Now, if Kasami tries to fight Cesare with just like in base with his sword, okay, and is not taking him seriously, then it is possible for Cesare to probably be able to beat him because, like I said, all he needs is one hit. And if you don't think Kasami wouldn't be able to regenerate or be fine from the poison, then that could be a win con, and then he would die. But like I said, it's pretty narratively established that Kasami does scale over these characters. Like, he is in that type of ballpark where he's close to the big boys, at least. He's very, very powerful. Kasami is no joke. And that's basically why I'll put it with that. So, so that's what that. He wouldn't be able to, Cesare, I don't know if I said this already, but he wouldn't be able to beat Konan. Konan can just, like I said, she can morph into fucking a paper body where she basically can't get hit. She can fly, she can spam explosions, you name it, catch people off guard with having paper bombs hidden in herself, tons of paper clones as kamikaze explosions, you name it, and the 6 billion thing, like, she would be able to take care of Cesare. I don't really see how Cesare could be able to beat her. And then not only that, I don't even actually have to explain this, I already forgot. They actually fought in Naruto as well, and Konan defeated him, because she was actually the one that was sent to recruit him, and she ended up defeating him and told him, if I beat you, you join the Akatsuki. And then Sasore's like, nah, fuck you, I'm going to kill you. And then he lost anyways. So, overall, she would be able to beat him as well. And that would basically be just that. So, the next person I'm actually going to put up... So I have a Rochimaru here for now. I'm trying to think. What was it? Yeah, okay. So that'll be that. Okay, we'll keep it at that, whatever, and that's it. So, yeah, she would be able to beat him, and then Pain, come on now. Tachi, Obito, I don't even need to explain that. So, overall, like, that'll basically be what you're dealing with. They would be able to destroy it, which is why he's there. All right, now we have Rochimaru. So I did put a Rochimaru here. We've seen what happened with Hitachi. He got destroyed, fucking bodied. Okay, Obito would be able to pull the same feat. Pain could be able to pull the same feat. As a matter of fact, they fought as well, Orochimaru and Pain. He tried to get his eyes as well, and he ultimately failed. Okay, and he just did a Shinra Tensei and launched Orochimaru across the fucking world. All right, now this one's interesting. Konan and Orochimaru. So, could Konan be able to beat him? Sure, especially if she probably does like the 6 billion fucking paper bomb thing. But if Orochimaru really wanted to, he could just summon the snake probably, go inside of it, and then just, whatever. I don't know. But Orochimaru would have to be serious when he fights her, basically. If he is, because normally in character, he's always cocky, talking shit, feeling out his opponents, you name it, right? If Orochimaru doesn't get serious, okay, and immediately go to like someone either doing a snake summoning or Edo Tensei or whatever, she's more than likely going to kill him. And the reason why is he only has so many lives, okay? Yeah, he can be able to, bring himself back from like the rebirth snake ability that he has where he kind of like sheds his skin, or, let's that one moment where the fourth tails Naruto cut him in half and his body just repaired just with snakes coming back. Like, he's basically immortal himself. Like, he's really freaking crazy powerful and has his own version of immortality. So, yeah, sure, Orochimaru could be able to survive a lot, whatever. But at the end of the day, Orochimaru ain't beating a 6 billion fucking paper bomb, okay? And if Konan doesn't have access to the 6 billion paper bomb, because I forgot to mention this as well, guys. If you guys think she could only pull the 6 billion paper bomb as a prep feat, then obviously that's off the table. If not, and you think she can use that whenever, or whatever the case, or if we're just letting them be able to use everything, then that puts her on a whole other ballpark, if you get what I'm saying. So I'll let you guys be the judge of that, and I'm not going to be too crazy on that. But if Konan uses that technique, he's dying. There's nothing he can fucking do. But Konan ain't beating his Edo summonings, and if I do feel like if they keep going, she would get bodied. Like, come on, Jiraiya was able to beat her pretty fucking quick just with an oral jutsu, you know? So, like, it's just that simple. So I do feel like Orochimaru could be able to beat her. I don't see why that would be improbable or highly unlikely. But, you know, that's just kind of that. But like I said, if you give her the 6 billion paper bomb technique, that can be a problem. So meaning he would need to be dead serious from the start. Otherwise, he's dying and losing. Kind of similar to what happened with Obito. Because we all know Obito technically scales over Konan. But the fact of just how dangerous she is and what she can do, you know, and that 6 billion paper bomb technique, it's just crazy, you know? So, anyways. So I'll let you guys think on that or whatever. If you think she's over him, cool. If you don't, whatever. Okay. We'll just leave it at that. So I'm going to put her. I would say I'd put her here. So I'll actually have Orochimaru over her, and that's that. At the end of the day, you know, regardless of your 6 billion paper bomb feat, you know, Orochimaru has the capability to fight and contend with her, and the moment he brings in Edo Tensei, I don't see her coming on top. I just don't. That's a whole other ball game, and she's just going to get outlasted and destroyed. So that's that. Now, this is also an interesting one to me, in my opinion. Kasami versus Orochimaru. So, this is what's interesting. So, you know, Kasami is no fucking joke. We all know what he can do. Okay, he can summon an ocean amount of water, very powerful, is able to destroy and shit on Killer Bee, okay, which we know how powerful Killer Bee is. You know, he absolutely shitted on MS Sasuke, Taka Sasuke, okay? Like, you know, so on and so forth. So, like, Killer Bee is no fucking joke, okay? But at the end of the day, with Kasami, even though he has all these abilities, can absorb chakra, regenerate as well, you name it, okay, and whatnot, what I will say is if Orochimaru, once again, does his Edo Tensei, which is in character, he always does that when he fights, or especially when he fought against Cesare and Deidara, I don't see how the hell freaking, you know, Kasami is going to deal with that. Like, Kasami ain't beating the first Hokage, the fourth Hokage, the fucking second Hokage. Like, he ain't beating people like that, okay? Better yet, well, if it's Edo, then that's a little different. But if it was a live Tobirama, then I do feel like Kasami could be a live Tobirama, which you guys are probably like, what the fuck? And eventually I might actually do a video on that. I'm not even joking. Or I'll just do a reaction video because Swag Kage and Seth actually really did a very great job on Kasami versus Tobirama. But overall, like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like, could Kasami pull the W? Maybe, okay? But I feel like it's unlikely because I don't think Kasami would be able to contest against Edo Tensei. I really don't. And to my knowledge, I don't think Kasami has ceiling abilities either. So, you know, that's a problem. So, yeah. So we'll put him under here. If you think he's A tier, Kasami, that's fine as well, whatever. But I'm going to keep him in B, and this is going to basically be that. Okay? So that's kind of what we have here. I'm trying to think. Oh, actually, she's over Kasami, though. And I do think that. So, Konan, this is the thing. With Konan, if she fought against Kasami, you know, she's going to be sending, you know, paper shuriken, paper bomb, suicide clones, whatever, you name it, like she normally does, fly and shit. At the end of the day, Kasami can't fly. The only way I see Kasami being able to beat her is if he's able to do like that one ability he did on Killer Bee on her, to where she's now in a ball of water, and now she, you know, whatnot, like the water won't affect the paper because we've seen that many times. Water doesn't affect her for some reason. But either way, she still should have to be able to breathe, right? And at the end of the day, if she can't breathe now, what the hell is she going to do? And at that point, she's kind of fucked. So this can go either or. Whatever you guys think. I'm not going to freak out on that. If you think Konan beats Kasami, great. If you think Kasami beats Konan, cool. At the end of the day, I don't care. I'm just going to put her here because one win con that she has, obviously, would be the 6 billion paper bomb thing. There's nothing he can do about that. There's just nothing he would be able to do. So, overall, I'll let you guys decide who you think goes who. I don't have a problem with either or, to be honest. It's fine. But either way, we'll just kind of keep it at that. So, and that'll basically be it. And this is kind of the direction for these guys. So, we have Kakazu. Okay. Oh, no. We have Hit-On. Then we have Zetsu. Zetsu, you can put wherever. I don't really care. I just kind of put him in C. I think that's where he should go. But I have Hit-On, Zetsu, Kakazu, Deidara. Okay. Then I have Cesare. Then you have Kasami. Okay. And then you have Konan. And then you have Rochimaru. And then we got the big boys. This is where it gets interesting. And this is going to piss a lot of people off, too. Probably. Okay. I truly, truly believe this. And eventually I would do a video of Pain versus Obito as well and whatnot. But overall, this is what it is. I truly believe this. We have Obito. Actually, no. We have Pain as in first place. Then Hitachi. And then Obito. And before you all freak the fuck out, okay? There's actually a lot of people that actually think this is legit and correct as well. I'm not the only one. Okay? But before you freak out, because you have the percentage of people that think Obito should be number 1, okay, and then Pain, and then Hitachi, or you have people that think he should be below. So, I'll explain this briefly. We all know, or should know, how powerful these people are. They're clearly in their own caliber, in their own, scaling, which is why they're in A tier, not B, okay? They're no fucking joke, all three of these guys. They're ridiculously powerful. In their own way, ability, intelligence, you name it, okay? The reason why I feel like Obito is dead last as Orange Mask Obito, I'm not talking about Rinnegan Obito. That's a different story. I'm talking about Orange Mask Obito, okay, or below. So the reason why I feel like he would lose to Hitachi is because Hitachi, not only that, I think I even covered in a video of Hitachi versus Obito. Yeah, I did. So here, I'll even pull that up real quick for you guys. This way you guys can see this, that I ain't capping. See if I can find it. Yeah, right here. So I have it like Hitachi versus Obito. Hitachi versus Obito right here. Final part, you name it. Yeah, it's part 2. Then there's even a part 1 right here. Because I really, really went into detail and in depth of why I truly believe Hitachi beats Obito. Because it was, for some people it would piss them off. For some people they would just be really confused. And they didn't understand. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to really take my time and really explain why Hitachi would be able to beat him. And I provided all the evidence and feats and everything, mainly from the anime as well, but the anime basically reciprocates everything from the manga. There's some tiny differences, but it's basically the same exact message. And that's basically it. But yeah, so if you guys are curious, you don't have to really watch these two. You can, it does help as well. But this one really hits it, bullseye. And just from that, you would know why mainly Obito loses to him. But I'll explain it just briefly. So with Obito, he always heavily uses Conway. That is always his go-to. It's just in character. It's what he always does, and I don't blame him. He has unlimited usage of his Mangekyo ability, and overall it's a very, very broken, powerful ability. It's not perfect or invincible, but it is very powerful, okay? Meaning that with Obito, he heavily relies on that ability, nothing really else, okay? Itachi is more than capable of being able to deduce, analyze Kamui, and deal with it. Minato was able to do it. Konan was able to do it. Danzo's henchmen were able to analyze and deduce on how to potentially beat it. They didn't win, but they still at least knew how to deal with it, okay? And figured out and came up with a strategy, but then eventually they got beaten, okay? They just weren't, I would say, they were smart enough to know what they were dealing with, but not how to really deliver results to beat it. Itachi is on the caliber of Minato, and if Konan could fucking do it, come on. You know what I mean? It's fucking Itachi for crying out loud. He could easily be able to deduce Kamui. He can be able to realize how it works right off the bat, just like Minato did, okay? And not only that, Itachi literally, now thinking about it, yeah, I think this is also correct. Itachi was below Minato when it came to the the tuning exams and whatnot, when they did the paper exams, which is basically testing your intelligence and whatnot. Minato was above Itachi, but Itachi was right below him. You know what I mean? Like, so it was Minato first place and then second place Itachi. So like overall, Itachi's very, very fucking intelligent. Every fight he's been in, he's always calm, analyzes, collectively observes, and always comes out on top. Always. Every fucking time. Okay? He could be able to pull the same thing with Obito, deduce Kamui, realize how it works, and come up with a counter strategy. Okay? If Konan was able to send a paper bomb version of herself, okay, and send that to Obito, and then Obito underestimated her, punched her, and then tried to absorb her into the Kamui, and then he was like, oh shit, it's about to explode. Itachi also has explosion shadow clones as well. He can send a shadow clone, not even himself, and it could be an explosion that can also catch Obito off guard and bam, land an explosion as well. Therefore, you know, him getting hit as well. Because the problem with Obito's Kamui, whenever he tries to absorb someone in, he's actually vulnerable to attack. So, if he's absorbing you, okay, you can actually hurt him, but you have to be fast enough to do it. And Konan was able to do that and caused a lot of damage to where his arm was gone and half his mask was off as well. Tachi could be able to replicate that same feat, cause some damage, press him, shurikens, fireball jutsu, you name it. Okay, whatever. Either way, it's very possible for him to win. Okay, and win that fight. It's not like unbelievable, and it would make perfect sense. Okay, and then not only that, okay, you also have, you know, Itachi with Tsukiyomi and the Susanoo. Okay, and if Itachi's able to time his attacks and abilities and whatnot, and he lands a Tosca Blade, or better yet, you know, lands an Amaterasu, you know, and whatnot, or even, you know, like does the explosion, whatever, he can do some serious damage or get the W easily. Okay, and another thing Itachi can also do is, you know, he can send Amaterasu and whatnot. And see, this is the problem with Amaterasu. People would just be like, oh yeah, he just Kamui's it, right? Well, the problem with Amaterasu is when Sasuke used Amaterasu, and this is just something for you guys to put into consideration, is when Sasuke used Amaterasu, his eye immediately turned into the Mangekyo Sharingan, and blood started coming out, and then chakra coming to his eye, and then bam, launched the Amaterasu. Obito was not able to activate Kamui on time. Okay, it hit him, alright, and he was screaming in pain and literally fell on the ground and his mask fell off as well. And then next thing you know, he comes back and he's like, you know, he's like, man, what's it called? If it, you know, you thought you killed me, but haha, I'm not dead. And everyone was like, oh yeah, he used Kamui. Or better yet, there's even like a data book statement or something where it says if Obito didn't have Kamui, he would have died from Sasuke's Amaterasu, which is not true. And the reason why it's not true is because what we later on see in Naruto, especially in the war arc, if whenever things go through him, they're basically going through to his dimension, okay? So if Amaterasu landed on Obito, even if he was to do Kamui, it's still going to be on that body part that he's making go to the Kamui dimension, if that makes sense. Whenever Obito does Kamui, he's sending that part of his body to his dimension, which is why it's not hitting him, okay? That is shown when he's fighting against KCM2 Naruto and Kakashi and all of them and everything, where the Nine Tails literally sends Kakashi in there. He gets absorbed into the Kamui dimension, and whenever Naruto like does his attacks, it goes through him, and then Obito's body part goes into the dimension, and then Kakashi literally attacks that body part, and now he's taking damage. Meaning, therefore, if the Amaterasu already landed on Obito, it actually contradicts the fact that he used Kamui to get away. It wouldn't make any logical sense, because it would literally stay on his body part as it goes throughout the dimension, and he would just die and still be in pain. So, meaning, there was no way it could have been Kamui. It had to be the Izanagi, okay? And that's basically it. I'm not going to get into the error. I'm not going to get into the discrepancy of that or why or whatever, but that is what actually makes sense. If you guys don't agree or with that or whatever, sure, whatever, cool. At the end of the day, even if you don't think Amaterasu is fast enough to land to kill him either, if he's timing his shuriken, fighting him, sending explosions, shadow clones, you name it, and whatnot, eventually he could be, if it's timed precisely, he can move to land a hit and it's over for Obito, and it's that fucking simple. If Konan could do it, he could do it. Minato was able to beat him just by speed alone. Okay, and that was by him teleporting and then slamming his Rasengan. To where he was so fast, okay, it basically had Obito frozen in time, okay, to where Obito couldn't even activate Kamui again, and he just got slammed by a Rasengan. So either speed or exploiting the materializing weakness of Kamui, or another weakness that can also be exploited, which Hitachi could be able to do this as well, is, if he's spamming a Mataratsu, right? And after he's spamming a Mataratsu, he's just phasing through it or throwing shuriken, whatever, this and that, you name it. Okay, at the end of the day, Obito can only do it for 5 minutes, okay? So eventually he has to come out. And if Obito tries to absorb Itachi could just blow himself up and it kills Obito as a clone, or whatever. Or even if Obito absorbs Itachi, this would be something in character that Itachi could do, is to where he could literally be in the Kamui dimension, but as a shadow clone, okay? And then basically Itachi would come out and he'd be like, oh, what's up, and try to fight, whatever they're going. And then basically anytime Itachi is throwing attacks at Obito and it's just going right through his body, the Itachi that's inside the Kamui dimension can see the body part and either Totsuka Blade and Mataratsu or just stab him or kill him. That's it. Okay, GG. Overall, Itachi has the ways. There's ways on how he can approach it, and it's very believable that he can be able to not only land a killing blow or exploit the weaknesses of Kamui. Kamui has a couple weaknesses. I'm going to say it one more time. Speed alone, going inside of the Kamui dimension and attacking from the inside. Or third, okay, if he tries to absorb you, he's vulnerable to attack. Or if you're able to force him into a situation where he's simultaneously being attacked to where now he can't teleport and he's forced to use Kamui, he can only use it for 5 minutes. So as long as you can do attacks in succession for 5 minutes, he's also going to be getting killed as well. And the last argument I have for Itachi as well is his Totsuka Blade. Okay, we don't know. This is a hit and miss, whether if you believe it or not. But it is possible that if Itachi does his Totsuka Blade, that it could just kill him and seal him. The Totsuka Blade's databook statement is literally stated that for all things that it touches and pierces, it seals it. Okay, so for all we know, it can just ignore Kamui or whatever and touch him, and then bam, he's done, and that's it, GG. It's a possibility. If you think it just goes through his body, and just into the dimension or whatever, sure, then it doesn't kill him. But if you think at least from the databook statement and take it literally, okay, then that could be also a possible W as well. I'm just putting that out there. It literally is a sword, a hack sword ability, and if it touches you, you're sealed. So, I don't see why it wouldn't be possible, but at the end of the day, I'll let you guys be able to decide that. So yeah, that's why I have Itachi over there. And then not only that, it's narratively implied that Itachi is a threat to Obito and more stronger than him, or at least you could say for sure makes Obito fear him. Literally, if you're so much more powerful than someone, you're not going to make a deal and make negotiations, okay, especially if you're the leader of the Akatsuki, okay, or think you're the one in charge and want it to be your way. You're not going to make a deal with someone if you don't have to. Instead, you'd be like, hey, if you don't listen to me, I'm just going to kill you and take your eyes. That's what Obito would have done if he actually thought he could beat Itachi. He would have just be like, all right, fuck you, fought him, and took his eyes, and that's it. Instead, he didn't. He made a deal with Itachi to not lay a finger on the hidden leaf and to not touch his brother, and to basically, and that was it. And then the only thing he asked Itachi is to not use his Sharingan against him. So that's also another thing to put into consideration as well. And if you even want to get even more technical, this is kind of something petty to bring up. There was a point where they were about to fight in a movie, okay, in the Naruto movie, Naruto Road to a Ninja, I think, and Itachi activates his Mangekyo Sharingun. He's like, I can tell that physical attacks won't work on you, but I have other ways to go about of defeating you. And then Obito gets scared, and he's like, even in this world, you're still a nuisance. And he disappears and leaves. So, clearly indicating that, narratively, that Itachi could be able to beat Obito if he wanted to. And he was the only stepping stone of why Obito couldn't really speed things up with his plan or do what he actually wanted to do. Okay, and then not only that, Itachi also, what's it called? There was even, no, not Itachi. It was Obito, where he's talking with Zetsu and basically very satisfied and happy that Itachi's no longer alive. He's like, finally, that eyesore is finally gone, and I can now do whatever the hell I want to, basically. So meaning that the moment Itachi died, now it was fair game and no one can stop him, basically. That's what he was saying. And that's what happened, and then it went from there. So it's narratively implied. If you truly understand the potential of Itachi, he's no fucking joke. He's up there with Minato and whatnot. If Konan can do it, Itachi could definitely do it too. He has the resources, the abilities to, and etc. It's just that fucking simple. And he also has Izanagi, not Izanagi, Izanami, and Izanami is to counter to Izanagi as well. So that is also a thing as well. And he's aware of both abilities. So, yeah, you can't be like, oh, Obito would just use Izanagi. No, because then Itachi could just use Izanami, and that's it, GG. And at the end of the day, if he's dealing with Madara Uchiha, you don't think Itachi would put into consideration that, oh, he might know the forbidden techniques of the Uchiha Eye as well? You know, so come on. But anyways, so that's basically that. That's kind of how that would go, and it's just that simple. Pain, you guys are probably like, well, why the fuck did you put Pain above? Well, first off, Pain would be able to beat Itachi, and he would also be able to beat Obito. I'm going to talk about Itachi first. He can literally counter anything Itachi throws at him. He can see chakra with his eyes, so whenever he sees a Mataratsu about to happen, you know, or whatever the case may be, he can literally counter it. Okay, Shinra Tensei can basically counter physical attacks and ninjutsu. He can absorb all of Itachi's attacks. He can literally dodge and avoid all of Itachi's attacks effortlessly because of the link vision. Okay, and not only that, Itachi is mainly built for 1v1 situations, not really to be fighting multiple people. He's going to have to fight against Tendo Pain, the robotic pain, okay, the soul-stealing pain, fucking the pain that uses summonings. He's going to have all these attacks coming at him all at once to where he would literally be forced to use Susanoo. And the moment Itachi uses Susanoo, okay, you know, Itachi can only use it for so long, okay, especially alive. And at that point, it's going to be really difficult because, you know, it is arguable that Pain could just use a mighty push, Shinra Tensei, and you could argue that that could destroy Itachi's Susanoo. At the end of the day, it is literally, the data book statement states that it can literally obliterate any ninjutsu or physical attack. It's the invincible hand of God, and it consists of all 5 chakra natures. Guess what? Itachi's shield also contains all 5 chakra natures, so would it just stalemate, or would it beat Itachi's ability as well? Okay, who the fuck knows? But at the end of the day, if he's able to land a Shinra Tensei on any other area of the Susanoo except for the shield, you could easily argue that it would be able to break through. Why not? Susanoo is literally just chakra. Okay, it's not like it's a magical defense that where now it can't be affected by Hack's abilities and so on and so forth. It's chakra. So that's a way he can be able to defeat him. He could also do Chippaku Tensei. And at the end of the day, what is Itachi going to do against that ceiling jutsu? Where literally it took for him, Naruto, and Killer Bee to blow it up with their strongest ranged ninjutsu attacks. He doesn't have Killer Bee, he doesn't have Naruto. So he's basically fucked. The only thing you could argue for Itachi to get out of Chippaku Tensei is either Izanagi or maybe his Totsuka Blade could be able to counter that. Maybe. But we don't know. That's the problem. You could argue whatever, but we don't know. So meaning the most consistent and realistic thing that he would probably do is Izanagi, and he would either run away and retreat, which would probably be more in character, or Pain wouldn't allow him to be able to retreat, because at the end of the day, Pain can be able to see chakra, okay, and he would just follow him, keep pressing him, and eventually Itachi would die. It would be the same exact result as Jiraiya. And Nagato has way more stamina and chakra than Itachi. That is an absolute fact. Okay, Itachi's not known for having crazy stamina and chakra reserves. He literally, in character, always actually finishes fights instantly because of his stamina or chakra reserve being an issue. Okay, and if it's sick Itachi, it's a stomp. If it's Prime Itachi, that is the only version I really think that could be able to contest Pain and give him a run for his money. But at the end of the day, it would still be the same result, in my opinion. Some people think that's not true, that if it's a Prime Itachi, that he would destroy Pain or whatever, but I don't think that would be the case. Once again, Pain can literally counter everything he throws at him, okay? And with the Link Vision, how is Itachi going to land an attack? You know, like, I don't see that happening. So, because the problem with the Rinnegan is really the Linked Vision. If he has anyone to see or cover him, he can't be hit. Like, it's freaking ridiculous. So, overall, like, that's just kind of where I'm at with Itachi. Should be very simple to understand. Most people, 9 times out of 10, agree with that fact. This is probably the part where a lot of people are going to disagree, though, is Pain versus Obito, okay, and him beating Obito. So, a lot of people are like, oh, well, no, that's not the case, because Pain, you know, like, fucking was taking orders secretly and directly from Obito and whatnot. Well, this is the thing. Pain was only actually narratively listening to Obito because at the end of the day, they had the same goal, to capture all the tailed beasts. The only thing that they didn't agree on was what they were going to do with the tailed beasts. Pain wanted to make it into a weapon and initiate his own version of peace. Obito wanted to do the plan of infinite Tsukiyomi. That was where they were kind of clashing and had a confrontation, okay? And that would eventually, a what-if scenario, if it happened, let's say they got all the tail beasts, right? Now it's to the point where it's like, all right, Obito's like, all right, we're going to do infinite Tsukiyomi, blah, blah, give me your rent. I'm going to do this and that. And then Pain's like, no, fuck you. We're not doing that. I'm going to do it my way. Bam, now they're about to throw hands and fight, right? So then they start fighting. And this is the way I see it. If Konan was able to kill Obito, there is no way you can't tell me that fucking Pain wouldn't be able to do it. It just makes no goddamn sense. And not only that, in character, Konan is always with Pain as well. So she would, like, if we're talking about in character, he's also going to have to fight Konan as well. And we saw how that went, okay? Okay, but let's say we're not even talking about in character and it's just Pain versus Obito, okay? I'm sorry, but what the hell is Obito going to do against a Geto statue, okay? Literally the husk of the 10 tails. He can't do shit to that, okay? Also, Shino Tensei, you could argue, we don't know, but it does consist of all 5 chakra natures, and it's literally stated to basically counter anything. So you could argue that it can also beat Kamui. That it could just basically negate it and body Obito as well and defeat him. Okay, or what you can do is, you know, while Obito is literally dealing with nothing but non-stop attacks, you know what I mean, from summonings, chakra rod receivers, Shino Tensei, or maybe even him pulling him or whatever. Because at the end of the day, even if Obito is doing Kamui, it doesn't mean gravity doesn't affect him. We saw that when he was fighting against Konan. When he was falling, gravity was still affecting him, even though he could use Kamui. Meaning that he could still be able to pull him even if he's using Kamui. That's also a big deal. He can be able to still pull him. He could do Chippaku Tensei. Now, mind you, he can't beat gravity, so Chippaku Tensei would still grab him, okay, and bring him up. But the only thing that would happen is he would just go through the rocks, or anything kind of going through him would just go through. And that's it. So he would be stuck in that gravitational sphere where he couldn't get out. But basically, that would just kind of be that. And then you got, basically it comes to the point where, you know, do you think Nagato has more chakra and stamina than Obito? Or do you think Obito has more chakra and stamina than Nagato? In my opinion, I feel like Nagato would have more stamina and chakra, mainly due to the fact that he's an Uzumaki, okay? And then not only that, Pain was able to body the whole Leaf Village and fight everyone. And then fight Sage Naruto with prep time and summonings, still win, and then fight Naruto with Sage Mode again at exhaustion, still win, and then fight base Naruto, and then eventually loses. Obito attacked the village with the 9 tails and everything, and lost to Minato, and he was already getting tired and exhausted, and he just basically conceded the fight. He didn't even continue on and just left. Then when he fought against Konan, there's literally points in the fight where he's literally huffing and getting tired. You know what I mean? And like, and he's like, oh, I underestimated you, blah, blah, this and that. So like, Obito, in my opinion, he's not really built to have a crazy amount of fucking stamina and chakra throughout that time, in my opinion. Throughout these periods of Naruto. Now, when we get to the War Arc, that's a whole different thing. everyone just has insane fucking, just like basically unlimited chakra and stamina at that point. But, overall, like with Pain, he has abilities to be able to compensate and exploit Kamui weaknesses as well, and be able to just do it so much better. Because you got to remember, Obito's going to be having to deal with missiles, laser beams, 6 people attacking him all at once, okay? Then dealing with a mighty push or universal pull, Shippaku Tensei, like you fucking name it. Summonings, like eventually Obito will be put to a position where he can't use Kamui anymore and he's dead, or he gets tagged and he's dead. Or what could also happen is Pain could, out of curiosity, could send in, one of the passive Pains and do the same exact thing that Naruto and Kakashi, and all of them did with the Nine Tails, and beat him that way as well. And you may think like, oh well, if Obito just absorbs, one of the Pains into the Kamui dimension, whatever, that's over. GG for that, right? Well, no. It's actually not a GG, and the reason why is because Pain could just summon that Pain out of his dimension to the real world. So overall, it's, he could just counter that, and he could easily be to take his passive Pains out of the Kamui dimension if he wants. And even if Obito tried to fight them in the Kamui dimension 1v1, now he's having to fight one of the passive Pains in his Kamui dimension, and he can't use Kamui now, and he only has a Sharingan, and he has to fight a path of Pain. That just, in my opinion, puts him at a disadvantage, especially if it's the Robot Pain or Tendo Pain, So that's just basically that. So you guys see what I'm saying? Like, overall, Pain is more than capable. Has the stamina, the chakra, the hacks abilities, combo attacks, 5 other people with him, and if you're talking about a character along with having Konan potentially, overall, Obito, he just wouldn't be able to come on top. And then not only that, the end of the fucking day, what does Obito do against the Geto statue? What does he do? Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, so the only way you could argue Obito to be able to beat Nagato is if he knows the location of Nagato. And then if he just teleports there, all he has to fight is a crippled deathbed Nagato that can't even move or whatever, and that's that. But then again, that's kind of a really bullshit way of going about it. And sure, that could be a way, and unless Konan is there or the other passive Pains are able to get there on time, then sure, you know what I mean? Like, that's a GG, he absorbs Nagato and whatever. But that's really stupid. And it's very improbable because at the end of the day, never ever is it stated or implied that Obito knows where Nagato is. And there's never implications of him threatening Nagato, like, know your place or this and that or yada yada. There's only one time he actually makes a threat to Nagato, and I think he says, I also do not tolerate failure, so don't disappoint me, whatever, blah, blah. And then I don't remember the response to Nagato, but then Pain is just like, all right, whatever, fuck you, and that's it. It's never ever implied with the tension or like the fear between Hitachi and Obito. Instead, with Pain and Obito, they kind of just respect each other, and and that's it. But Pain doesn't think he's inferior to Obito. They literally have 2 different motives of to indicate what to do with the tail beast, clearly indicating that they would eventually come to conflict. So overall, that's basically where we're at. That's going to be the ranking of the Akatsuki members. I hope this video wasn't too long for you guys, but I know you guys have been wanting for a long time, of a Akatsuki ranking video from me. At least there were certain people that were asking for it from me. And that's basically it. And then not only that, last thing I forgot to mention, guys, I totally forgot about this. Nagato can also use an ability to where he can literally summon anyone, and they can be able to fight against Obito, and that can also be an issue, especially for Hitachi as well. Or he can even do basically a mirror copycat version of yourself. And what is Obito going to do? If he summoned his own self, and he has to fight himself, what the fuck is he going to do? And on top of it, had to fight the passive Pains. Obito ain't fighting himself and the passive Pains either. That just ain't happening. And so technically in character, Nagato can put himself in an area to where basically he can't be reached. And let's say if, whatever the case can be, Obito somehow knew whatnot, with the seals and the barriers, Obito would have to remove those seals and whatnot. And if he does that, then, you know, a version of himself appears, and then that's a fucking problem. Or he can just do it, period. And let me see if I can find those data book statements, though. I really want to read those. I don't know where it's at, but... Aha! This is it. So here it says, chakra makes sacrifice play out of one's life as a powerful ninja. Pain determines how much chakra to allocate and invokes the jutsu. Okay, Pain allocates a portion of the chakra of Akatsuki members to his target. Creates, you know, an ingenious duplicate of that member with which to do the battle. The abilities of the duplicate are proportional to the amount of chakra allocated to it, and it can use the abilities of the original person. However, when the chakra runs out, the jutsu is canceled and the target dies. So, meaning he can literally have anyone to fight for him and give him as much chakra as he wants. They could be at 30% power, 100%, whatever, okay? And that's ridiculous. When the art of impersonation is applied, the target is 100% identical in appearance to the original, okay? And of course, the target's ninjutsu is identical to that original person. Even the fire style fireball technique of the Uchiha clan is perfectly replicated, okay? And then, let me zoom in a little bit more here. Yep, see, even the sword is there. And the art of impersonation initiates even the weapons and ninja tools of the original to battle alongside the original himself. So, like, that ability right there is fucking ridiculous, in my opinion. Absolutely insane. And he could do that against Obito or Itachi as well. And that would also be a fucking problem. You know what I mean? So, overall, like, Pain is just, he's a god. I'm sorry. But people really like to think he's just trash or whatever. But he's no fucking joke. Now, there's one more thing I wanted to cover. So, the 5 seal barrier. The firm connection between 5 tags prevents the opening of any doors. The 5 forbidden tags connected by the caster's chakra are placed in various locations, including on the stronghold to be defended at the center. Turning the area surrounded by the tags into a sealed dimension. Because destruction of objects within the sealed dimension is forbidden, it is necessary to find and remove. It is necessary to find and remove all 5 tags to cancel this jutsu. Inside the sealed dimension, it's impossible to even scratch, much less destroy anything using any sort of physical attacks. Okay. And so then, and then it is said that a group of 4 into 2 small groups of 2 are the preferred means of attacking an enemy stronghold protected by the 5 seal barrier. Once groups removes 4 of the tag seals, 4 of the tags, while the other group removes the final tag on the stronghold itself. Before attacking simultaneously, this is done that the attackers can break in while retaining their fighting ability. Sentry type shinobi among blah blah whatever. So, but either way, that ability right there can literally replicate you, and you have to fight yourself. Like, that's a big fucking deal. And then this is an ability that Nagato used when he was fighting against Hanzo and the Hidden Leaf Ninja, to where he summons like the statue, and he can either use it to rampage and kill everyone, or a dragon can come out of it, and anyone it touches, it absorbs their chakra, basically, or snatches your soul. So it takes the form of a dragon with the 9 bodies, completely seals the chakra of the tail beast. Once the sealing is complete, the eyes of the statue open. So, yeah, but overall, that's kind of my list, guys. That's basically going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. Comment your thoughts down below of your Akatsuki ranking. Let me know what you guys think it kind of goes, who beats who, who's in the top, who's in the bottom. I'm just curious. Like I said, I enjoyed this, guys. You know, I'm not going to really take it that serious either. So let me know what you think. Let me know who you think is the strongest, who is the weakest, yada, yada. Let me know if you have any problems of this list. If you have any issues with this, let me know. Comment down below. Let me know what you think, or if you don't like what I did, or if you disagree, whatever the case may be, let me know. And at the end of the day, that'll basically be it. And subscribe for more content. Subscribe, you guys, love the channel. There'll be plenty more Naruto stuff coming out along the way. I'm trying to do a mix, you know, have gaming videos, Naruto videos, reaction videos, Naruto videos. Like, I'm trying to have a balance of Naruto content and along with the other content I do as well. So, but as always, guys, see you in the next video. Peace.